Shruti, you are already selected
Sir.
and you have been undergoing training. How is your overall
Yes,
experience?
sir.
How is your experience?
Sir, I had joined this special foundation course, but post that I am on EOL.
Okay, fine. You are from Nashik,
Yes, sir.
and Nashik has been quite in news, if I'm not wrong,
So,
and obviously not for good reasons. So, what is that controversy all about?
sir, the controversy is about the felling of trees in Tapovan area, where it is supposed that the Sadhugram is to be established for the Kumbh Mela.
Okay. So, but what is the present state of the controversy? So, has government decided to take it forward, yeah, to pull down the same project?
Sir, recently the Western branch of National Green Tribunal has given the halt to the project. So, as of now, the status quo continues, but the government is insisting on continuing with the project.
Okay, but what do you think as a resident of Nashik?
Sir, the Tapovan area has trees which are centuries long, which are existing since centuries. So, as Nashikers, people do not want the trees to be cut down. Rather, an alternative site for the establishment of Sadhugram is proposed, so that can be taken forward.
Okay, see, you are a student of sociology as well,
So,
and this is quite an interesting phenomena. If we cannot call the people who came together and oppose, okay, the same by the government, that is the government of Maharashtra, we may not call it social movement, but nonetheless, it was a kind of agitation. It was kind of a protest. So, how do you look
so.
at that as a student of sociology?
Sir, as it seems as a social movement wherein people have a collective agenda, people are unified on that, but it does not have any leader as such, so it can be called as polycephalous movement. But
Okay,
the continuity of agitation, be it through social media or involvement of local civil society organizations, is giving it quite momentum to so that it can be sustained further.
okay. So, certainly, we have to admit that the social media has played, especially the new social media, has played a significant role.
So,
Yes. Uh, we have been talking of something called as feminization of agriculture.
so.
So, have you read about that? So, what is that?
Sir, feminization of agriculture is a phenomenon wherein the lot of workforce in the agriculture consists of females. So at some places it is as much up to 83 percentage, wherein the rural labor force consists of women. And it is also additionally because of the male migration to urban counterparts. So, because of it, a lot of women are taking over either their farms or working in the fields of others as laborers.
Okay, so it is increasing involvement of women in agriculture due to various factors.
So,
But what kind of consequences do we get to see of the phenomena of feminization of agriculture?
sir, there are certain positive repercussions because of that, wherein women are getting agency. So, if they are earning through that, they are having that independence uh, to expend to continue that expenditure with that money, or maybe they are going outside their homes. So, they are being vocal about their issues as women agricultural laborers. But on the negative side, it is also seen that there are certain phenomena like say harvesting uterus phenomenon in Marathwada region of Maharashtra, or at places the sex ratio has become quite skewed in favor of women. But uh, because of that, the safety issues of women have also arisen.
Okay, okay. But does it in any sense add to the burden of women? Feminization of agriculture, does it add to the already overburdened women?
Sir, feminization as such or working outside homes is definitely adding to the burden of women, especially because the household work is not done by men or any help for women by that matter. But I think it is also a good phenomenon wherein we can see that women, when they are going outside, they can at least contribute economically and seek maybe helpers at their home. So there are two sides of the story.
Okay, 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 fine. See, there is one observation that whenever women are sort of in greater participation in agriculture, and as you rightly pointed out, due to the migration of men outside, okay, uh, they face number of difficulties while availing certain schemes.
So.
So, do they really face any kind of difficulty, let us say, set of difficulties?
Sir, I'm not exactly aware of the difficulties, but if I can think of certain problems, there can be issues with respect to maybe financial inclusion of women. So, I had read one case study wherein the PM Kisan Yojana, the PM Kisan Yojana, which helps farmers, but women farmers were not able to avail that benefit because of lack of financial literacy and lack of financial inclusion. So,
Okay.
such issues can arise.
Okay, can arise. Okay, okay, okay. See, Supreme Court of India, in connection with Karnataka, the case originated from the state of Karnataka, had come up with a verdict on reservation. Have you read
So,
about that? It's a recent verdict judgment of Supreme Court of India.
sir, I'm not able to recall it at this
Okay.
moment.
Okay, but you haven't read it. Yeah, not able to recall that.
Sir, I'm not able to recall that.
I recall. Okay, okay. You have done a field study. What was that about?
Sir, it was a part of special foundation course wherein we had to visit a village where and there we had done a social mapping of that village. We had done transact walk and interacted with the people there through focus group discussions.
Okay, so that was a part of your civil services foundation course.
So,
Okay, okay, okay. See, as student of sociology, you must have certainly read about M.N. Srinivas' work and the village study long
so.
back. Okay, and you, as part of your field study, visited the village. Now, to what
So.
extent his framework is still applicable to study the villages in current times?
So, firstly, we observed that family as a primary unit of social structure, it continues to exist. Secondly, we also saw a Sanskritization to a certain extent, wherein in the focus group discussion with the youth there, we observed that they were imitating their higher caste counterparts in terms of responding to the answers, in terms of employment opportunities outside. So that was the thing. And apart from the Sanskritization aspect, the dominant caste phenomenon was also quite prevalent there, wherein we had seen the segregation of households of different castes being at different places in the village.
Okay, okay. So these were the observations.
So,
So in terms of aspirations, what did you observe in terms of aspirations of the villagers, your family you interacted with? So did you see any change, visible change?
sir, the primary aspirations of all the people there were with respect to the employment opportunities. But yes,
Okay.
the women there have become quite vocal as per the sarpanch there, and also we have witnessed that they were pointing out how the self-help group phenomenon is occupied by the elite women, and the benefits are not reaching to them. So that was one aspiration, and apart from that, uh, government schemes and their implementation is not up to the mark to the ground level. So they had aspirations with respect to that Jal Jeevan Mission and the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana would reach to them in its true spirit.
Okay, now you have a very important input from your field study. You are already in civil
So,
services. Okay, you are appearing one more time. Okay, to get your expected post. Okay, now you are put in capacity of a policymaker.
so.
Then how would you deal with these issues that you observed as part of field study? Caste still operates, patriarchy still operates, education and awareness does matter. So how would you deal with that?
Sir, I think firstly we have to look to the root causes of all the problems. So, when it comes to, say, patriarchy or caste-based discrimination, one major thing which can help people come out of that is education. So, if we have grassroots education, the primary education in its true spirit, that can be one of the most important factor because of which people will be emancipated. Secondly, if we have employment opportunities, especially for women and by means of reservation for the lower castes, and if that is truly implemented, people get financial independence, and it opens further avenues for their liberation.
Okay, okay, this is what you think.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. So, Shruti, uh, you have participated and won a competition for Gita chanting, and
So,
specifically, you are mentioning 15th Adhyay.
so
So, what is the message of the 15th Adhyay of Bhagavad Gita?
Sir, the 15th Adhyay, which is called as Purushottam Yoga, asks us to be a Purushottam, wherein the supreme quality of that person is said that who is free from attachment. So, it asks us firstly to be free from attachment, and secondly, uh, to be to be impartial with to be different from the dichotomies of pain and pleasure, of vanity and delusion. So, if we can distinguish, if we can be composed in all these situations, that is true Purushottam.
Okay, okay. So now, when you have been reading Bhagavad Gita, you are trying to understand it. What do you think? Shall we include this type of scriptures into our educational curriculum?
Sir, we need to include the learnings of these scriptures. Not necessarily the verbatim appearance of them is necessary in our curriculum, but we need to include the underlying messages, be it from Bhagavad Gita, be it from any other scripture which we have as our heritage and has lessons which can help us in future.
But will it conflict with the idea of secularism that our constitution is trying to imbibe into?
Sir, Indian sense of secularism is not about the separation between religion and state. So we have principled distance from religion, but we also do not have the dharma nirpekshata angle of secularism. Rather, it is sarva dharma sambhav. So by that logic, we can include some good lessons from all the religions in our textbooks, and that won't go contrary to our secularism.
So when we are comparing Sarva Dharma Samabhav and Dharma Nirapekshata, what are the features that are more advantageous looking at the Indian context, societal context, with respect to the idea of secularism?
So firstly, we do not we do not have clear-cut demarcations between state and religion. So we can include the elements, the religious elements, which can help us which can help us grow in our different domains. Secondly, we also have protections for minorities. So, which makes India a different country altogether than other countries. And our sense of secularism also helps everybody flourish, irrespective of their religion. So that can be advantage.
Right. You also written here that you like to listen to tape a tape. So what is that
So,
exactly?
Sir, Tape a Tale is a YouTube platform wherein people from different walks of life come and share their stories, which maybe they think world has not heard or are generally taken for granted. So, if permitted, I can quote one example.
Yes, sure.
So in one of the stories, it is the title of the story is that "Ma, tum sapne dekhti ho." In that, the narrator argues how we have taken our mothers for granted, and we do not give consideration to the fact that maybe she also has her dreams, and maybe she is sacrificing her everything for us. So so the story emphasizes how we have taken our mothers for granted and have not given due consideration to them.
Okay, fine. So now when we are talking about this, let's say YouTube platform, which could be an audio or video version of sharing information. But in the earlier period of time, mostly it was a text or printed format. So do you think when these digital platforms are arising, the habit of reading is diminishing in our society?
Sir, there are two sides of the same. Uh, Firstly, when we see that the habit of reading is declining, so people are feeling more of the platforms like audio visuals are more appealing to people than the printed form. So that contributes to lack of reading in us. But on the other side, the digital platforms are also coming up with audio books and digital copies of books, so that is also helping us in nurturing a tradition of reading. So it depends on how we utilize the new media.
But don't you think we shall try to inculcate the habit of reading? Because that used to be the very important way of learning, sharing information, or developing a perspective for that matter.
Yes, the habit of reading is important, as you said, for various reasons. But social media is also acting as an information platform wherein we have witnessed a democratization of all the information and news, everything. But one thing which maybe differentiates the digital media from the printed media is that the digital media, we are seeing information overload and kind of pollution, so it becomes difficult for us to choose the correct context and correct things from that.
Fine.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Shruti, you have given your choice of services, preference of services only for IS. It seems from your
So,
that detailed application form. Okay, so why not IPS?
Sir, last year I was declared medically unfit for the police service.
Okay, because of that, actually, you have not given it.
So,
Okay. Why some drugs are called narco drugs?
sorry, sir, I'm not aware of that.
Okay. Do you know which drugs are narco drugs in India? Name of some narco drugs.
Sir, cocaine is one. Um,
Hmm.
heroin is one.
Hmm.
I'll have to read upon that, sir.
Okay, okay. Recently, one term again came in news that is about the narco-terrorism, right? Have you heard about it?
So,
Why it is called
yes, sir.
narco-terrorism specifically?
Sir, it is a union of narcotic syndicates and terrorists for that matter. So they are undergoing what is called as black hole syndrome, wherein their funds, personnels, and organizational capabilities are they are interoperated by the two, and their agenda is forwarded.
But actually, you can call them these narco, we can say the gangsters, okay, criminals. But specifically, terrorism, this term is used there. It has some specific connotations. They might be earning money out of it. Okay, it's a illegal things. How this term emerge?
Sir, as far as I have read, the narcotics is either produced by the terror groups, or they are hiring the the narcotics syndicates to their terrorist groups as personals, and the funds are interoperable. In past, the Taliban was doing the same. That in that context, narco-terrorism as a word had become quite popular. But recent happenings, I'll have to read upon that, sir.
Okay, in Central America, there are various cartels are there who operates this drug-related smuggling. Okay, why it is located in a Central America?
Sir, I'm not exactly aware of the reasons, but as far as I can think, it can be because of maybe large scale unemployment and lack of development in that area, that unemployed youths gets carried to those cartels.
Okay, okay. See, in India also, this narco-terrorism, this term is used. So we are actually flanked by the Golden Crescent and Golden Triangle,
So.
right? So how actually they are impacting us? Can you give that specific relationship?
So, firstly, it is impacting primarily our youth. So, in terms of their health, the deteriorations can be seen. Secondly, it is also linked towards the Maoist areas in India, wherein the Tendu leaf economy is flourishing with the help of these cartels. So it is impacting our internal security as well as our border areas, wherein we have to plunge in our resources and our armed personnels.
When we see this thing, youths are generally attracted more towards drugs, drug abuse. Why only
So,
youth? Okay. Why other people, like suppose you can take alcohol. Again, alcohol, not only youth, but the old people also actually they consume alcohol. But in case of drugs means this narcotic drugs, youth are more attracted.
so.
Why?
So, first thing can be peer pressure and the influence of popular media, wherein the things are shown as the drug consumption is shown as cool. Secondly, the golden crescent we are surrounded with, especially with respect to Pakistan, the main target is our youth who will indulge in such activities, and maybe our productive workforce will diminish. So, that can be one factor.
Okay, means it is targeted for youth, but it is easily available for means adult people also, means the people who are in their 40s, 50s. So is it related with the target done by the sellers or content of these drugs?
Sir, I'm not aware of these nitty-gritties related to content and otherwise. I'll have to read upon that.
Okay, okay. Last question from my side. Now, recently, whatever happened in Venezuela, that incidents. Okay,
So.
so how it will influence India?
So in near future, with respect to crude oil, maybe India will not be seriously impacted because India has cut down its supplies from Venezuela. But in the long run, the influence on the international order has impacted certain countries. So it can motivate countries like China to become more aggressive. So that can be an area of concern for India. But otherwise, maybe we will have to adopt a wait and watch approach to know what exactly unfolds.
Okay, means can we compare that the thing which is done by the which is done by USA with Venezuela, so that there China can do with India? Whether Venezuela and India are comparable?
No, sir. China may become aggressive in the South China Sea, but its aggression can be uh, on negative side for India. India is not comparable to Venezuela, and China won't do anything of that sort to India. But in general, international order, I thought that can be
I
an
was
impact.
asking only about India, influence on India only.
Sorry, sir. I'll have to read upon
Okay,
that.
okay. Sir.
Thank
So
you, sir.
Shruti,
Sir.
yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So in your preferences, you have opted only for Indian Administrative Services.
Sir.
So can you please tell us why do you want to become IS?
Sir, firstly, when I thought of joining the civil services, the motivation came to join the administrative service because of the service condition it provides and the diversity of areas one can work in. It was further corroborated by some of the experiences I have had in my life. So, may I share one of them?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So, when I happened to visit my father's school, I interacted with the students there. And one of the girls there told me that recently she had participated in an activity conducted by the Jilla Parishad CEO, Ashima Mittal ma'am. And in that, she got a prize from ma'am. And by that, she could convince her parents to let her continue her education as she wants to grow up and become like Ashima Mittal ma'am. So that is a ground level impact one can never imagine the administrative officers can have. So so experiences like that influenced me to join the administrative service.
Okay, as you are looking forward to be part of administrative services, and you just shared with us one of the experience, right? And that was in the field of education. So,
So,
what are other areas in your mind where you would like to work upon as a administrative officer?
sir, apart from education, I would look forward to work in area of health in MSMEs, especially with the focus of women's employment. And thirdly, with respect to the industrialization in rural areas by means of labor-intensive industries.
Okay, and if we are setting some rural industries in rural areas, and
So,
what if these industries are affecting the environment of that particular area? Can we still go
uh,
ahead with that?
Sir, we need to incorporate our the inputs in those rural areas as our raw materials, which will in a sustainable manner. So, for instance, we can have food processing industries. The output, the with sorry, the food processing industries, which can help us in just absorbing the rural in the rural products as inputs, and outputs will also be sold, which won't be very detrimental to environment.
Now you were working, you were saying about participation of women workers,
So,
right? Now industry being kind of an informal industry, we cannot call immediately it is a formal industry. How much women are employed in informal industries in India, approximately?
sir, I'm not aware of the exact rate.
Okay, Shruti, right now your state of Maharashtra is witnessing a local body elections,
So,
right? And these local body elections were delayed for some reasons. So can you please tell us what was the delay caused to the local body elections?
sir, there was a demand of increasing reservation for the other backward castes. So, but Supreme Court has, based on the Indra Sahani judgment, the 50% quota could not be increased, and that is why there was the elections were stopped and the delay henceforth.
Okay, was the demand for increase in quota or already reservation given was breaching that ceiling set by Supreme Court of India?
Sir, the Maratha reservation which breached the limit was held cancelled by the Supreme Court. But apart from that, as far as I remember, it was with respect to increasing the quota.
Okay, okay. Now, Shruti, can you please apprise us about the happenings or events unfolding in Bangladesh, our neighboring country?
Yes, so firstly, there is a political crisis wherein the previous Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina had come to India, and the next elections, which were due since almost 2 years, have not taken place. It has also led to a radicalism in Bangladesh, especially because of the increasing unemployment rate, and also the situations between India and Bangladesh had gone to little south since past few months. So the unemployment and the youth issues are also adding fuel to the existing crisis.
Okay, Shruti, what is your hobby?
So my hobby is listening to stories.
Okay, fine. What is your plan for next 1 year in case you don't get selected this year?
Sir, I would then work upon the shortcomings I have had, and would give the 2026 attempt with more improvements.
Okay, all right, Shruti. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you, sir.